In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a report. We use reports for sharing information from our database. So the first thing we're going to do is go to the Create tab, and we're going to use the Report Wizard. And we are going to add to our report. We're on the administrators table, but if you're not on the administrators table here, you can, of course, find it by clicking down here. And we need the last name, first name, and I'm double clicking, or you can click one time and click on the pullover. You need to have these in order. If you need to move something back, you can click on it over here and move it back this way. The title, the department name, which is not in this table, it's in the departments table. And then we'll go back to the administrators table and get their salary. Choose next. How do you want to view our data? We can choose departments here, or we can actually go to the next one. Do you want to add groupings? Yes. We are going to group by department name so that we only have to see the department name one time. And now it'll be grouped by department name. And then on this dialog box, we're going to choose to put it in ascending order by last name. We'll keep the default layout, and we'll turn our orientation to landscape. And we'll save it as administrators, departments. When we open up a report, it opens up in print preview. We can't really do anything in this preview except for printing, so I'm going to close this. Once I close this, I'm in design view, and I'm going to hop over. I'm going to come down to the right corner, and I'm going to hop over to layout view to make a couple changes. First, close this property sheet over here. And I want salary to line up more with the salaries over here, so I'm going to click on it once and use the arrow key on my keyboard to move it over a little bit. And I can shorten this up. I'm going to scroll down and make sure that none of my records are cut off, that they all have enough room. And if I click here, I can see how much room they actually have. I might not need this much room for the names. I can shorten them up. Be careful of shortening things up too much. As you add new records, you might need that space. I'm going to hold my shift key down so all this is selected now, and use my arrow key to move it over a little bit. The same thing here. Click once, hold my shift key down, click on any record, and use my arrow keys to move these over a little bit, just to line them up so they look a little bit nicer. And the same thing, salary, shift, and first I'm going to tighten this up a little bit, and then use my arrow key to move it over. Now when I tightened that up, it also tightened up my salary, so I'm just going to click on my salary one time and fix that. I'm going to go to Design View, come down here and switch to Design View, and click on my Administrators heading. And we're going to make the font size larger and change the color and style. So I'm just going to head over to the Home ribbon. And again here, I can just choose a larger font. I might need to move this down and open this up so that we'll be able to read it all. Change the style, the color, I'm going to head back over to layout view, and it asks us to bold the field names. So these are the field names up here. And I'm going to click on one and hold my shift key down to select them all. Again, the Home ribbon, and we'll bold them. And we'll change the color to the same color that we used in our title, which is already selected here. And we'll also bold them. They are already bolded, so we're good. Back to design view. We're going to delete this footer here, and it has this function, the now function, and I'm actually going to see how my cursor is like this. When it's like this, I can pull this down a little bit so I can see easier over here. I'm going to not delete just the now function, but I'm going to click and make sure it's all selected and use the delete key on my keyboard to get rid of that. So we need to get rid of that whole box. And now we're just going to add a label. So the big A, little a is a label. When I hover my mouse over it, it says label. I'll click once and click one time down here, and I'll type last updated my name and the date. We're also going to show the total of our salary. So if I go and look at our report in report view, we scroll down and it has the salary for all the employees. I'd like to see the total amount that we're going to spend the whole year on salaries. So I'm going to come back to design view, and I'm on the design tab here, and here's a group and sort. And next to it is totals, and I'm going to click on my salary field. Now my totals works, and I'm going to choose totals and choose sum. And you'll notice that it put a field for the sum salary here and a sum salary there. Let's see what that looks like. Let's go to our report and see what that looks like. And what it did here is it put a subtotal for each department. We don't need to see that. We just want to see our grand total. So I'm going to go to layout view and click on one of the subtotals, and you'll notice it doesn't include the grand total, and use my delete key on my keyboard to get rid of those so that I'm just showing the grand total. Then your report should be complete. Actually, I noticed that I forgot to add our little icon. So I'm still in layout view, and I'm going to scroll up to the top when we want to add the phone icon up here. I'm going to do that in design view. I'm going to head back over to design view, and I'm going to click once on my title and use my arrow key to move it over a little bit because I want to put my phone icon right in this area here. And then on the design tab, I will choose, we can use logo right here. And I saved the phone image on my desktop, and here it is right here. I'll click on it once and say OK. And it puts it right in there for you. You can make it a little bit bigger if you want. And we'll head back over to report view. And now we have our completed report.